Okay. So do please ask your questions in the chat, and we would ask that you just keep yourselves muted through the duration of the presentation just to avoid distractions. You can also alternatively save your questions until the end, and I can try and address those at the end. Before I get going, I would like to spend a moment just making note that University of Calgary is a diverse community committed to removing barriers encountered by equity-deserving groups, including women, Indigenous peoples, visible racialized minorities, persons with disabilities, and LGBTQ+ students. If you want to learn more about this policy, please do visit our website. I would also just encourage you to spend a moment, if you have your phone available and you're interested, giving the QR code on the right-hand side of the screen a quick scan. This is going to open up our International Student Viewbook. The Viewbook is a really good place to refer to if you're looking for admission requirements, or if you have any questions at all about UCalgary life. You can kind of refer to the Viewbook first, and this will be a great place to find a lot of information. If you're not aware of how to use a QR code, please just open up your phone's camera and then hover the camera over the image. This will take you to the proper place that I'm kind of talking about. There are a few different QR codes throughout the presentation, so you can feel free to scan those, and it will often take you to a page that just has a bit more information. All right, so before I get going, I would like to spend a few moments talking about where the University of Calgary is located, as I feel like this is a really great selling feature for our university. Chances are, if you're in this presentation today, you've already considered studying abroad. Maybe you've already submitted your application to the University of Calgary, which is very exciting. But regardless, the first thing you need to know is that we are located in Canada. So Canada has actually been ranked the #1 country for quality of life in the entire world. And I think that is largely due to the fact that we have such a great reputation for being safe, stable, and friendly. There's also some huge advantages to consider as an incoming international student. So one of those great advantages being that if you are a full-time student on a valid study permit, you are able to work for up to 20 hours per week, and that could be on or off campus. And then if you were a graduate from a post-secondary institution in Canada, you're also eligible to receive a work permit to stay in the country for up to 3 years once you graduate. That can be a really great thing for students who are looking to make more of a permanent transition abroad, as a lot of the time students will use that 3 years to apply for their permanent residency. So this map really highlights how large Canada is. We're actually the second largest geographic country in the entire world. And this map also shows where Calgary is in relation to a number of the other major cities throughout Canada. It's about a 12-hour drive to get from Calgary to Vancouver, and it's actually about a 48-hour drive to get from Calgary to Toronto. So it almost takes you 4 days to cover that distance. So again, this is a very large country. There's a lot of different types of landscapes within the country and a lot of things to see and do. So if you are keen to explore, I would just maybe recommend booking a flight as opposed to trying to drive any of these distances. So focusing in on the province of Alberta, Alberta is one of the 10 Canadian provinces. It's actually also the only province in the entire country that does not have a provincial sales tax. Alberta is also a province that is well known for being a place where people can come to make a decent amount of money. So those two things pair together, the lack of provincial sales tax and the high earning potential within this province, really mean that your money is going to go a lot further, that the cost of living is going to be relatively affordable to you as an international student. This is also a province that is packed full of things to see and do. So we actually have 5 of Canada's national parks, and we also have 8 of Canada's UNESCO World Heritage Sites. As you can see from the right-hand side of the slide, our province is home to the world-famous Rocky Mountains. These mountains look incredible on the screen, but they're even more beautiful in person, I promise. There's plenty of opportunities for adventure within these mountains. So if you are someone who's keen to try something like skiing or snowboarding, camping or hiking, you can do all of that and so much more within this province. Now, focusing in on the city of Calgary specifically, so the city of Calgary has actually been ranked the 5th most livable city in the entire world and #1 most livable city in North America. I think the reason that this city has such a high ranking as far as livability is concerned is because there really is something here for everyone. I know that a lot of the times incoming international students are wondering about what the employment opportunities are like once you graduate. I feel that the opportunities are quite robust in Calgary. So we actually are the highest concentration of high-tech workers in Canada, and we're number 2 for small businesses in Canada as well. So if you are a student who's pursuing or interested in pursuing a degree such as computer science, engineering, or commerce, there's going to be plenty of opportunity available to you specifically once you graduate. I think my personal favorite thing about Calgary has to be the incredible lifestyle that we have. There's tons of amazing restaurants. We actually have 9 of Canada's top 100 restaurants. There's also a lot of outdoor activities to enjoy. So we do have North America's most extensive pathway system. It is the sunniest major city in the entire country. And there's a variety of other activities that you can enjoy throughout all parts of the year. One thing that I'll say about Calgary is actually you will experience 4 distinct seasons here in Calgary. So there will be fall, winter, spring, and summer. Depending on the time of year, there's unique activities to enjoy. So something that a lot of Calgarians like to do in the winter is maybe go skating or sledding or skiing. Those things are probably quite unique to a lot of you, as I'm sure that in a lot of your climates, you don't get to experience snow. So looking now at the University of Calgary, we have been ranked amongst the world's top post-secondary institutions. So we're actually in the top 250 universities worldwide, and we're also a top 6 Canadian research university. As a research-focused university, our goal is really to bring learning to students that is extremely experiential and very hands-on. Our campus is a large one, so it's home to 28,000 undergraduate students, and it's located on a very large mass of land. So as you can see from the slide, we're quite spread out. It's actually spread out over about 520 acres. As a large campus, we have all of the large university amenities that you could ever hope for. So a great example of one of our large university amenities is the Taylor Family Digital Library, otherwise known as TFDL. This is the most technologically advanced library in all of North America, and it has some truly incredible study and collaboration spaces for our students. So things like an audio-visual editing suite, a virtual reality suite. This building also houses North America's largest collection of retro video games. So it's kind of a fun fact. You might be able to play those and study at the same time. To draw your attention to some of the surrounding area of our campus, we are located about a 5-minute walk to a train. That train is going to take you to downtown in about 10 minutes, and to some other shopping areas and things like that within about 5 minutes. So we are very centrally located. It is quite easy to get around. Nice thing for you guys to note in advance as well is that you do get access to a U-Pass included within your student fees, and this is going to give you complete access to all of the trains and buses in the city. All right, so before I talk about the academic side of things at UCalgary, I always like to spend a couple of minutes just talking about the experience of being one of our students. I know that a lot of the time students are choosing an academic program specifically based on what you want to study and the ranking of the program. Those are obviously really important things to consider, but you should also consider what kind of experience the university has available to you, as this is what's really going to make your university years stand out and be very memorable. At UCalgary, we're very proud of what we offer. We have an incredible number of leadership and volunteering initiatives for our students to get involved in, and also a number of really fun events that happen throughout the year as well. Pictured on the slide, you're going to see one of our main events throughout the year. It's called the Crowchild Classic. This is a big hockey game that happens between the University of Calgary Dinos and the Mount Royal Cougars. It draws in thousands of events thousands of students from around the city. And it's a really great way to come out and show your University of Calgary spirit. I know that when I was a student, it was one of my favorite events to attend year after year. Now, our clubs program is going to be another incredible way to get involved and to really start to develop your community here at University of Calgary. We actually have over 300 student clubs available. So if you're a student who's looking to get involved in a particular hobby, perhaps you're interested in something like hiking or photography, board games, you name it, there's more than likely going to be a club for that. There's also a variety of academic clubs. So if you're a student who's in the engineering program or the commerce program, we have ways for you to get involved involved and to really start making peers within your faculty. There's also clubs for students from a variety of faith and spirituality groups, as well as different countries. So again, if you're someone who's kind of concerned about that move to a new country and you're not sure about how you're going to meet others who are similar to you, please don't worry, as we're going to provide many opportunities for you to get connected. All right, and I just wanted to make note that throughout the presentation, Cynthia is going to be sharing a number of links in the chat. And these links will take you to a page where you can just get a bit more information. So I did see that she just posted a link to our clubs program. You can browse through the over 300 clubs that we have available and really see if there's something that would suit your particular interests. All right, so University of Calgary is home of the Dinos. Anybody who becomes a student on our campus is welcomed into the Dinos family, but the Dinos is also the name for our varsity sports teams. So varsity sports means that these are sports played at a competitive level. If you are a student who's interested in becoming one of our athletes, please just go to godinos.com, as this is going to be the first step in getting connected to one of the coaches and also to learning a bit more about athletic scholarships and things like that. If you're not a student who's looking to play sports competitively, I would still highly encourage you to consider attending Dinos games during your time with us as a student. These are extremely fun and a great way to show University of Calgary spirit. It's free to attend as a student, and we have also been known to give away free tuition from time to time at these events. So that should be another great incentive to come and cheer on your team. Sorry, my slides are a little bit delayed today. Just a moment. While this slide is loading, I just wanted to say that you should continue asking all of your questions in the chat, and Candace and Cynthia will be more than happy to address those. If you prefer to save the questions until the end, that's also totally fine. Okay, sorry about that. Another great way to, if you're a student who's interested in athletics, but you're not going to be trying out for a competitive sports team, is to consider getting active in other ways. UCalgary has a number of world-class amenities available to you as a student, and you get complete access to all of these. We also have a variety of ways for you to maybe play your sport in a less competitive way, in more of a fun environment, and a great way to meet other students, and that is through our intramural sports team. So intramural sports are going to be a way for you to do things like dodgeball, hockey, basketball, soccer, in a less competitive and more fun environment. Some of the incredible amenities that we have available include a Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center. We have an outdoor center. This is the largest of its kind in North America, and you are able to rent out equipment for a very recent cost as a student. So keep an eye out for that if you're someone who's interested in trying a number of the great outdoor activities that we have available in the Calgary area. Okay, I have a quick video to share with you. This is called A Day in the Life of Maria. She's actually an international student on our campus right now and is a great example of someone who's made the most of her University of Calgary experience.
My name is Maria Tencio. I am from Puerto Ordaz, Venezuela. I'm studying political science at University of Calgary. Moving from a different country, I was very scared that when you're new in town and you're new at university. In UCalgary, you get the best professors, you get the best students that can actually support you. It's very important to me how multicultural University of Calgary is, because it allows inclusiveness throughout not only the UCalgary community, but in the city as well. I live downtown, which is actually my favorite part of the city. Every day I get to school through the bus or the trains, and it takes me around half an hour. One of my favorite places on campus, it's definitely the atrium at Administration Building. You get a very positive vibe, and you get to study, and you get to also enjoy a little bit of nature. I'm part of the University of Calgary Debate Society, and I think it's amazing. It has really helped me improve not only on my debate skills, but also in my English. And I think it's a great way to get to know the peers at University of Calgary. I also work at the Registrar's Office, specifically at Admissions and Recruitment. It's a great opportunity to help people to join the community at University of Calgary. I'm very happy to be at University of Calgary, and I hope that I can contribute as much as University of Calgary has contributed to my life.
Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed that video. Again, I think Maria is just a great example of someone who's really made the most of her University of Calgary experience. And I hope that wherever you do decide to attend post-secondary, that you do the same. If you do decide to apply with us, as a student coming from a different country, I would highly recommend the option to live on campus. Living on campus is definitely not mandatory. However, it's highly recommended for a variety of reasons. The first reason that I'll just promote is that it is a ton of fun. I know for myself, when I was completing my undergraduate degree, I lived in residence for almost 4 years. It was just the best way that I found to meet other students and to really get involved in the community. So again, highly recommend that, as it's going to be a super fun addition to your university experience. The other reason that I'll really promote residence to you is that it definitely simplifies the process of moving from a different country. You're not going to have to worry about the logistics of finding a place to rent or worry about paying utilities. That's all taken care of for you. We have a variety of double and single rooms available to our incoming students. Something to make note of is that first-year students are required to be on the meal plan. It is very delicious, healthy food, and we are also able to make it diet friendly. So if you're someone who is halal or vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free, we can make this meal plan work for you. The reason it's mandatory is, again, just about simplifying your experience of becoming a university student for the first time. We really want to ensure that you have time to focus on your studies or socializing, whatever is kind of more important to you, so that you don't have to worry about things like cooking. If you are a student who's looking to apply for fall 2022, please just making note that we have a 2-year residence guarantee, but you need to apply by May 1st of 2022. If you're wondering about the roommate situation, please just making note that if you decide to come to University of Calgary with a friend, or there's someone that you know you want to live with, we're definitely able to make that pairing happen. If you're coming here alone, we also have a roommate matching service. And so essentially there would be a profile that you're going to fill out as part of your residence application. This profile is going to ask you to give us specific information about your preferences. So are you someone who likes to study? Are you kind of a night owl or an early morning person? And then the residence team will do their best to match you with another student who they think would be a good fit for you. You will have an opportunity to correspond back and forth with that student to see whether you are actually a good match, and then ultimately you would have the say as to whether you want to live together. All right, so earlier in the presentation, I highlighted the fact that University of Calgary is a large campus. We are home to 28,000 undergraduate students, but despite the fact that we're a large university, I really think we're able to maintain a small campus feel. And that is largely due to the fact that we have so many incredible student supports available. When I was an incoming university student, I had no idea that a number of these supports existed, and I really wish that I had in advance so that I could have taken full advantage of these. A really great one for you guys to be aware of is the Student Success Center. This is again going to be a really critical support for students who are transitioning from high school into post-secondary. Is this going to be a good team to reach out to if you have any concerns about your academics? So if you needed support with writing or learning how to cite papers, time management, study skills, this team is going to be there for you to help ensure that you are successful in your academics. Another really critical support for you to be aware of as an incoming international student is our International Student Services team. This will be the team that you can reach out to if you have any questions at all about the study permit application process. And International Student Services will also be a really good resource for you once you arrive at the University of Calgary. They do host a new student orientation specific to international students. And so that can be a wonderful event for you to attend and to meet other international students who are going to be in the exact same situation as you. This team is also going to host a variety of social events and sightseeing trips throughout the academic year. So you'll want to make sure that you watch out for those, as again, those can be a great way to meet other students, both international and domestic alike. Okay, so transitioning now into the academic side of things, as I know that this is what a lot of you want to hear about. University of Calgary, we have been ranked very highly. We are in the top 250 universities worldwide. As an institution, our goals are really focused on creating learning that is experiential, entrepreneurial, and also very research focused. Now, as a student applying from high school, we do have these 8 faculties available. So the Faculty of Arts, the Faculty of Science, Haskayne School of Business, Schulich School of Engineering, the Faculty of Kinesiology, the Workland School of Education, the Faculty of Nursing, and the Cummings School of Medicine. Within our 8 faculties, there's actually over 250 program combinations. So we have a ton of variety here. University of Calgary is really known for being a very comprehensive university. So what that means is that, again, there's a little bit of everything. I can almost guarantee that if you check out our view book or our website, you're going to find something that's of interest to you. So I won't spend too much time on these individual slides, but this is meant to give you a glimpse into the different areas of study that we have available. So again, over 250 program combinations. If you're not familiar with what I'm saying when I say program combination, basically that's the opportunity to customize your degree. So at UCalgary, you might choose just to apply directly into one of our majors. There's also the opportunity for you to do a minor or an embedded certificate, but those would be in an upper year, so you don't apply directly into those from high school. We also have combined degrees available. So if you're not familiar with what a combined degree is, this is basically going to be the opportunity for you to combine different interest areas or different areas that might be, kind of mesh well together. A combined degree you'll be able to do in 5 years if you're studying full time, so earning 2 degrees in 5 years as opposed to 1 degree within 4 years. A really incredible way to add value to your studies here at UCalgary is to consider participating in our study abroad program. So we have opportunities available in more than 45 countries, and we're really encouraging at least 50% of our students to participate wherever possible. You might be wondering what value this has to you as an incoming international student, since you're potentially already going to be having an international experience by studying in Canada. The huge benefit to you is that regardless of where you study in the world, you'll actually be paying University of Calgary tuition fees. So you could really diversify your education and have an incredible adventure at the same time by choosing Canada, but also getting to go somewhere else. Now, another great way to add value to your degree is to consider our work integrated learning program. So if you're in the faculties of Arts, Science, Engineering, or Business, we do have co-ops and internships available. If you're not familiar with what a co-op or internship is, these are going to be paid work experiences. They do not count towards your degree requirements. It is considered an add-on experience, but it's a really great way to make some money while you're going to school and also to start developing meaningful connections that are going to be helpful to you once you graduate. At University of Calgary, we do have a 94% graduate to employment rate. So that means that 94% of our students are obtaining employment once they graduate from University of Calgary. And I think the reason we have such a high number of students, or a high percentage, is largely due to these work integrated learning opportunities. Gaining that hands-on experience in your field is an incredibly valuable thing, and employers do really appreciate that, especially within Canadian companies. If you're not a student in the faculties of Arts, Science, Engineering, or Business, there are other paid positions available throughout the universities. So there's different paid research opportunities, and there's also practicum opportunities available for nursing education and kinesiology students. I'm actually a graduate of the Workland School of Education, so I had to do 4 mandatory practicums as part of my degree. I think it was the most valuable part of my degree and that it really gave me that hands-on exposure to what it was like to be a teacher. All right, so I do see lots of questions coming in the chat. Again, keep in mind, you can just keep those coming as we go, and Cynthia and Candice are happy to address those. Let's talk about how to actually become a University of Calgary student. So applying to the University of Calgary is a relatively straightforward process. Applications are open. They actually opened up on October 1st. That was yesterday. There's a couple of things you need to do before you can receive an evaluation. So the first thing you need to do is submit the application through our website. You'll need to pay an application fee of 145 Canadian dollars. And that's for all students with international credentials. And then you're going to need to upload a number of required documents through your student center. So things like your proof of English language proficiency and then some high school transcripts. The documents that we're requiring will be slightly different depending on the country or the curriculum that you're applying for. We won't necessarily be able to cover the specifics of all of those documents today, but please do feel free to reach out if you have any questions about what we're going to be asking for. Now, when you apply to University of Calgary on your application, you can actually select 2 program choices. So the first program should be the thing that you want to study the most, And the second program should be something that is of interest, but that has a slightly lower competitive average. I will get into what that means in a couple of slides. So I mentioned English language proficiency. So every student that applies to the University of Calgary is required to demonstrate English language proficiency. At UCalgary, there's going to be 3 ways to meet this English language requirement. So the first way is to complete 3 years with English as the primary language of instruction, and that would have to be at a high school that is accredited to offer Canadian, British, or American curriculum. The second way is to present one of the scores required in an acceptable English language test. So popular ones that we accept from international students would be IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo. Please just keeping in mind that if you were a student applying into nursing or education, that there's additional requirements you would need to meet for IELTS and TOEFL, and that we wouldn't accept Duolingo for those programs. The third and final way to satisfy this requirement would be through or by completing our academic communication certificate. The academic communication certificate is offered through the University of Calgary's Continuing Education Department. You can almost think of this as a bridging program between your high school and the university, and it's a way to satisfy English language proficiency. It's a 13-week English language immersion program and can be a great way to improve your speaking and listening skills. If you did want more information, I would just encourage you to email esl@ucalgary.ca. Alternatively, you can ask in the chat and we can try and send you a link for the website. All right, so moving on now to how we actually evaluate students at UCalgary. Keeping in mind that you do need to complete the application process before we can evaluate you. So the application process being submitting the application, paying the application fee, meeting English language proficiency, and providing your high school documents. Once you've done all that, we can move you forward to the evaluation stage. At the University of Calgary, your evaluation is going to be based on 5 faculty-specific high school subjects, and then basically what your average is from those 5 subjects. Now, there are a few programs that have additional requirements. So the Bachelor of Health Science and the Fine Arts programs being the examples. The Bachelor of Health Science, there will be a supplementary essay. And then for Fine Arts, Dance and Music, there's an audition. And for the Visual Studies program, there is a portfolio. For the vast majority of our programs, though, we really are just looking to see if you can provide, or if you can present the 5 faculty-specific subjects and meet the average for the program. We're not looking at portfolios. We're not looking at entrance exams. There's no personal statement or anything like that. We're really simplifying this for you. All you need to do is present 5 faculty-specific subjects, and you need to be a competitive applicant for your desired program. So you can see from the slide that the requirements are different depending on the faculty that you apply into. English is always going to be a required course, regardless of the program that you apply into. And then we're looking for a combination of other courses. The Bachelor of Science and Engineering is a great example of a program that has more specific admission requirements. So for this program, we're looking for English, pre-calculus, calculus, chemistry, and then physics or biology. And we're going to calculate your average from those 5 courses, and we're estimating that the competitive average for the program will be about in the mid-80s or higher. Now, I mentioned earlier that you are able to select 2 program choices. So as an example, let's say you're a student whose average is maybe in the low 80s, but you are really interested in studying engineering. I would just recommend making your first choice as engineering, and then the second choice is a program that has a slightly lower admission average. If you don't immediately get into engineering, there is a chance that we can review you again based on your first semester grades and potentially issue an offer later on. But the second choice is going to ensure that you do get a spot in the program or in a program at UCalgary. Seats do fill up in our programs, and so it's a good idea to kind of have that second choice secured spot in place if possible. Just on the topic of admission requirements, again, just noting that you can find all of the admission requirements through our view book. So if you didn't have a chance to do that before, I would encourage you to scan the QR code on the right-hand side. This will take you to a document that will show you the specific courses that we're going to be requiring, as well as what the estimated competitive averages are. All right, so a little bit of information about conditional offers. So you might be wondering, you're going to be applying to the University of Calgary while you are in progress to complete your grade 12. How do we actually evaluate you considering you aren't done high school? Well, what we can do is actually issue an offer based on a few different factors. So for a lot of students, we're looking at a combination of grade 11 and 12 marks. For some students, we can use predicted grades. So as an example, if you're a student who's doing IB, or maybe you're a student who's going to be doing your A levels, we can use predicted grades in those cases. If you are issued an offer to the University of Calgary based on coursework that is not fully complete or you're not done high school, every offer is going to actually be conditional. And so what that means is that you are expected to graduate from high school, you're expected to complete all your required courses, and you are expected to maintain your average. And you would also have to provide some official documents to us once your high school is complete. So just keeping that in mind, you are able to use a conditional offer letter to apply for your study permit. So please don't hesitate from applying for that as soon as you get the conditional offer letter. All right, so just a little bit of information for awards before we kind of wrap up the presentation and have a bit of time for questions. One of the main questions I get from international students is whether you are eligible for awards. The answer is you definitely are. We actually give away almost over $17 million annually. And I always like to tell students as thinking of the money available as being available from 3 separate buckets. So the first bucket of awards to be aware of is our automatic admission awards. Automatic admission awards are ones that you do not need to apply for in order to be considered. The main two that really most students are reviewed for is the President Admission Scholarship and the International Baccalaureate Diploma Entrance Scholarship. So the President Admission Scholarship, this one is valued at 5,000 Canadian dollars, and it's available to any entering first-year student with an admission average of 95% or greater. The IB Entrance Award is available to any entering first-year student with an IB diploma score of 35 or greater, and that one is valued at $2,000. Now, if you're an IB student, so you're doing the IB diploma, just making note that if you have an overall score of 40 or higher, you're actually going to be able to get both the President Admission Scholarship and the IB Entrance Award. So you could be looking at a total award value of $7,000. Now, the rest of our awards here at UCalgary, you do need to submit applications for, but we make it very simple in that there's only going to be 2 awards applications. The way that you submit scholarship applications, you apply for admissions first, and then once you've applied for admissions, you'll find the scholarship applications available in your student center. So Prestige Awards is the first category of awards that I'll tell you about. As the name implies, this is the category of awards that is all of our high value awards. And it's also where we mainly consider your academic merit. The application for Prestige Awards is going to be due on December 1st, 2021. So there's not a lot of time to get this awards application in, which is why we really encourage students to apply as early as they can. You can see some very high value awards noted here on the slide. The International Entrance Scholarship falls underneath of this category. It's valued at 20,000 Canadian dollars, and we do have about 5 of those awards that are renewable for up to 4 years. So it could be a total award value of 80,000. Again, this is going to go to the most competitive academic applicants. So if you're a student who's quite high achieving, this is going to be a really great application for you to submit because you could potentially qualify for a rather large sum of money. Now, the other award application that we have available is called our High School Entrance Awards application. High School Entrance Awards is where we consider things like your extracurricular involvement, your financial need, and also your academic success. This application is due on March 1st of 2022, so you do have quite a bit more time to submit this one. And it is also a relatively straightforward application in comparison to the application for Prestige Awards. I should have mentioned, but Prestige Awards, there will be some small essay components and things like that. So it's another reason why you want to give yourself time to submit that one. The award values for High School Entrance Awards range from about $800 up to 10,000 Canadian dollars. You are able to receive more than 1 High School Entrance Award. So again, you could be looking at fairly sizable amounts of money. So as an international student, you're obviously aware of the fact that coming to a different country for your education is going to cost a little bit of money. That's why we always like to make you aware of the scholarships that we offer. But I also find that it's important just to make you aware of the fact that there's a number of external awards that you can also gain access to. So it's not just University of Calgary that you can get scholarship money from, but rather there are thousands of organizations around the world that are looking to fund students' education. All you need to do is apply and hopefully meet the criteria that they have set. A really good place to start research for external awards is to go to ucalgary.ca/awards, as you'll be able to find a bunch of information and resources for finding different awards around the globe. All right, with money on the mind, always important for me to spend a moment just talking about what the cost and fees are here at UCalgary. If you are interested in seeing the program-specific fees, I would just recommend scanning the QR code on the bottom left of the screen, as this is going to take you to our undergraduate student cost estimator, and you can select the faculty that you're interested in, as well as what the program-specific fees are. For international students, we're estimating that the cost of tuition will be around 23,000 Canadian dollars. That would be the cost for one full year of tuition, as well as basically the cost of taking 10 courses here at UCalgary. We estimate that students will need to budget an additional 10 to 12,000 Canadian dollars for the cost of living, so for your books, supplies, fees, residence, meal plan, all of that, as well as any other miscellaneous expenses that might come up throughout the year. Of course, I understand that this is an investment in your future, but I do hope that you feel empowered by the information that has been given today. Remember that you can apply for scholarships. There are external awards available, so this can be great ways to start covering some of the finances involved in university. If you've done any research into other Canadian universities, as well as any universities in the United States or even in the UK, you're going to find that University of Calgary's tuition is relatively affordable by comparison. We've actually had a tuition freeze in the province of Alberta for around the last 8 years. And so that's kind of the reason for the tuition being a bit lower. I do find at the University of Calgary get that great balance between affordability, but also being a very highly respected institution. So just keeping those two things in mind, that it's kind of the best of both worlds. All right, and then just some important dates to highlight for you. Sorry, my slide is just loading. Keeping in mind that our fall 2022 intake application is open now. This is the next intake that we have available. So there's no winter or spring intake available for the vast majority of our programs here at UCalgary. So fall 2022 is really when most of you are going to be wanting to apply. The application opens on October 1st, so it's already open. It's going to stay open until March 1st of 2022. You'll have until March 15th to provide your unofficial documents, so your proof of English language proficiency and your high school documents. I would really encourage you to apply as early as you can in our cycle. We do have a rolling admissions process, and so what that means is that we're actually going to be as soon as an application is complete, we can issue you a conditional offer, and that means you'll have a much better chance of getting a spot in one of our programs. Some other important dates to be aware of: December 1st is the deadline for Prestige Awards, and March 1st is the deadline for High School Entrance Awards. I won't spend too much time going over the other dates just yet, as we are so early in the cycle, but one other important date to kind of highlight for all of you would be May 1st. So if you are issued an offer at the University of Calgary, you would have until May 1st to pay your admissions deposit and accept your offer in your student center. All right, so that is basically it for me. I feel like I've given you a ton of information today, and I do see that there's a lot of questions and things like that that have come up in the chat. I just wanting to highlight quickly 5 reasons to choose the University of Calgary. So there's a million good reasons, to be honest, but I'll just recap the top 5. So number 1, excellence in academics. We have been ranked amongst the world's top post-secondary institutions. We're actually in the top 250 universities worldwide. Number 2, research opportunities. We are in the top 6 for Canadian research universities. Every faculty is going to be doing some incredibly meaningful and interesting research. If you are a student who's ever been interested in research, this is really going to be a great destination for you. And even if you're not a student who's ever considered doing research, being a research-focused institution means that all of the professors here are going to be experts in their field, and they're going to be able to deliver content to you that is extremely timely and relevant to the day and age that we're living in. Number 3, a caring community. So we have some incredible student supports available, as well as over 300 student clubs. So there really is a number of ways to get involved and really feel connected within the UCalgary community. Number 4, the opportunity to earn while you learn. So we do have an amazing a co-op and internship program. So just keeping in mind, there's opportunities for you to make some money and develop meaningful connections that will be helpful to you once you graduate. And number 5, an adventurous lifestyle. So we're located about an hour away from the world famous Rocky Mountains. Having that as a backdrop to your university career can be a huge advantage and just present some amazing opportunities for adventure. All right, I just wanted to introduce the international recruitment team to you. So we have a variety of supports available for our students. So all of the support here at UCalgary is region specific. So as an example, if you're a student living in the Middle East or Southeast Asia, I'm actually going to be your specific contact. We have Cynthia supporting students from Africa, Alexis supporting students from the United States and India, Carly supports students from Asia and Europe, and Yana supports students living in Latin America. You'll see all of our email addresses noted here on the slide. So if you did want to take a screenshot, please feel free to do that. Otherwise, just remember to email future.students@ucalgary.ca, and someone from our team will respond to that email and forward it to the proper recruiter for your region. We all completely understand that choosing a post-secondary is a huge decision, and we really want to ensure that you feel supported and have all of your questions answered as well. There's also a number of webinars that are going to be coming up throughout the next few months. So there's a variety of faculty-specific information nights. So if you wanted to get more detailed information on what the different faculties offer, maybe the research that they're doing and the types of courses that you can take, I would highly recommend just registering for one of the faculty information nights. We're also going to be hosting an application workshop. There's going to be some residence webinars happening, a webinar for awards. So a variety of different ways to get access to some information. All right, so I see that the chat has been quite busy. I hope that Cynthia and Candace have been able to answer most of your questions. I'm just going to check in with those two and see if there's anything that I can help address right now. But I will just say thank you all so much for being here. It's really great to see such a great turnout, and I hope that you have an incredible open house experience, you know, all throughout the day. Just give me a moment, just checking in with Cynthia. Maybe Candace and Cynthia, if there is any questions that you wanted me to go over, I'm happy to cover those now. Maybe just send me a quick message over Teams. I think we have all of them. Okay, so someone asked, is there a main link to the platform? I'm not sure. Cynthia, are you able to send that over? Perfect. Okay, Cynthia was able to send that to you. It looks like we were able to get to most of the questions. If there was anything that was missed today, we're so sorry for that. I'm just going to put the email address to our recruitment team. So the email is future.students@ucalgary.ca. I think we're going to end there though, just so that you all have time to get to your next session, so that I have time to prepare for my next one. But again, have a wonderful day, and I hope that you all do really have a really great day, and just good luck with all of your university applications. Oh, and so Janella, if you're from the Middle East, you can definitely contact me at just middleeast.recruiter@ucalgary.ca. So I'll just send that in the chat right now. All right, and have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Bye-bye.